Good morning. Welcome back to Diaries. Move that out of the way. Don't know why that's in the background. Anyways, this is the last episode ever. I'm just kidding. No, this is the last episode before we get to go write again. I'm so excited. I have so many ideas and so many things that, so many ideas and so many things that I've been like thinking about and like just like writing in the notes app on my phone. Like I'll have to show you guys next week when we start writing like the notes app on my phone. It's just like paragraphs. Because thinking about the book doesn't count as writing the book. Loophole. Anyways, so I have so many ideas. I have so many different things that I've like pinned on Pinterest, and I'm so excited. We're gonna start writing next week, but for today, let's do a reading recap. Let's go through all of the books. I was actually supposed to do this in the last episode, but I forgot. So we're doing it now. We'll also probably, as you can tell, my roots. I'm a natural blonde. This is not my natural hair color. But anyways, my roots are pretty bad. So we're actually gonna re-dye my hair today too. At home, not at a salon, because I like to live on the wild side. Anyways, let's get in. Okay. I said in my last video that it was like a personal record for me, the number of books that I read this month, and I was not joking. I usually only ever read like 2 or 3 books in a month, not because I'm like lazy and not reading, but like that's part of it. But also because I'm usually reading like thick books. You know, my minimum page count in a book is like 400 pages, so it usually takes me longer. This month, I feel like I kind of cheated because I got not like smaller books that I normally do, but I did a lot of traveling this month. So, you know, you're like stuck on a plane for 2.5 hours. The only thing to do is read a book. So I like kind of cheated, but also it's amazing how many books you can read when you're not doom scrolling on your phone. It's maybe a lesson for me in future. Anyways, these are all of the books that I read this month. Wow. 4 instead of 2. My mom will be proud of me. Hold on. Coffee break. Okay. It was really interesting filming this like in a condensed version for like Instagram and like YouTube shorts and stuff, because you guys know I'm a yapper. I love to yap, but especially when it comes to books. So I'm always having to just be like, oh yeah, it was good, and then like move on to the next one, because like, you know, there's time limits and whatever. But here, you guys are stuck with me, so yapping away. Okay, the first book that I read this month is The Robin and the Oak Throne by K.A. Lind. This book, I know I'm actually like behind. Like this book came out over the summer and it's, well, now December, but whatever. I'm finally reading it months after it came out. I read The Wren in the Holly Library shortly after it came out the first time. I don't actually know when that book came out. I read it shortly afterwards. But I like read the whole book in like a day. It was like a Saturday or something, and I literally was just like sitting in bed and was just like, you know. So I was really excited for this book to come out, and this book did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. I really, really loved in this book how Kier's, when she was all like, I hate you, about Graves, you know, the betrayal of trust, like whatever, like that was not an entire book long thing. That was like maybe 100 pages. And then we were like, okay, we're moving on. We're partnering up. We forget him. We love him. Like whatever. We moved on from that. I feel like a lot of sequel books have this really bad problem, especially if the first book ends with that betrayal of trust, that they spend the entire second book being like, you suck. And it's not till like the last chapter that they're like, I love you. And that really irritates me in books because I'm like, can we just move? Like, we know you love each other. Stop dancing around it. Like, let's go. Come on. I'm here for the romance. But anyways, I think Caitlin did a really, really good job in this book of like having that tension and that distrust between Kierce and Graves, but also not having it be like the entire story. And I also really loved Kierce's like back and forth with Lorcan in this book about how she was all like, oh, should I be with Lorcan? Should I be with Graves? I'm totally gonna be with Graves. And like we got to see more of Lorcan himself, and we got to see more of him, like why he's so obsessed with Kierce, like why he's going after her, and like all of this stuff. And you know, the one thing I will say with that though is I'm not totally on board with Lorcan's villain arc. He kind of grew on me in this book, you know, like I really did not like him in book 1, you know, whole trying to kill Ethan thing really like puts a damper on me liking him. But this book, he was really growing on me. Like there was a time in there, and like when they were in the throne room, you know, and he like put the crown on Kierce's head, I was like, maybe I like Lorcan now. Like maybe I like Lorcan. And then it was like at the very end, he was like, villain, let me kidnap her. And I was like, whoa. So I don't know how I feel about Lorcan's villain arc yet. I think I'm gonna obviously I'm gonna have to read book 3 before I make any definitive decisions, but other than that, 10 out of 10 book. The next book is The Thief at Night by Holly Black. I got this book from the library because hot girls support local libraries, and you should too. Anyways, this is the second book in the duology. The Book of Night is the first one. I also got that from the library. Anyways, I really loved the first book. I loved it so much. And so when I found out that this book was coming out, I was like, hello, library, put it on hold. And then it was like torturous because I had to wait like a month and a half for this book because it was on hold, and not everybody reads as fast as I am, which I guess is the downside of libraries, is you have to like wait for books, but you know, whatever, support your local libraries. Anyways, I really loved the first book. I loved it. Like the plot twist to the end, Vince was actually red and it was a shit, like, oh, gasp. And then we got to this book, and I really loved to see Charlie's growth as like the hero, you know, but like not a hero in like the traditional sense where she was like, I'm a good person now. Like she was a hero in her own right. And I also really loved that we got to see more of Charlie's sister Posey in this book, and we got to see Posey, like in the first book she was kind of like doing stuff that we were like, are you good, Posey? Like that's maybe not the best life choices. But we still got to see her in this book making some maybe not great life choices, and Charlie having to be okay with the fact that like Posey's growing up now and like she can make her own choices and do her own things. And I especially loved Red's growth. Like in the beginning of the book, Red was like very villainous. He was very like, I hate you, Charlie. Like I don't remember anything, blah, blah, blah. And as the book went on, I don't necessarily think he got like all of Vince's memories back, but he was definitely starting to be like falling in love with Charlie as Red instead of as Vince. And we also got to see him like grow into being Remy, air quotes, but like not being Remy, but like kind of, it's hard to explain, okay, you just have to read the book. But even that, like as Red was like falling in love with her and not like finding his humanity, but like kind of, he still kept his like villainous side, like his bloodthirsty, villainous, murderous side that we all love about Red. He still kept that, and I so loved at the very end of the book, this is a spoiler warning, the very end of the book, that Red's like gift to Charlie was to burn Salt's mansion down. I was gagged, so gagged. I was like, yes, I love that, burn it to the ground. 12 out of 10, absolutely. This is an absolute read. The next book, my stack is like all out of order. Okay, I actually finished reading Robin and the Oak Throne on the plane when I was going back to Texas. If you remember that last vlog, the Texas vlog that I had posted, we were on the plane. I was reading Robin and the Oak Throne. I finished it on the plane. So I needed a book to read on the 2.5 hour flight from Texas back here. back home. So I bought this book in the airport. This is I, Medusa by Anya Gray. I, in a very threatening manner, have recommended this book to like 25 people since I read it. I read the entire book on the plane. It was like a 2.5-hour flight, and I literally was just like, from the second, like the plane hadn't even like left the gate yet. We were still like on the tarmac at the gate, and I was like, the whole time, like, it was so good. To the point that I was actually like, when the flight attendant comes around and is like, do you want pretzels? Do you want a drink? I was like, go away. Like, I'm reading. It was so good. This is a retelling of Medusa's myth by a Black author. And I loved the way that she wrote Medusa. Like, she wrote, and you can kind of tell here on the cover, like she wrote Medusa and her sisters with locks, and like and it was one of those things that like on their island when they grew up, like it was a normal natural thing to like look the way that they did and have the hair the way that they did. And then when Medusa went to Athens to go be a priestess for Athena, and she met like all of the more like white characters, you know, it was like a source of tension with some of the characters. You know, you got a lot of this like, not even like subtle racism towards Medusa, but it was very like overt. You know, there was a lot of people that like hated her for the way that she looked and the way that her hair was, and like you got all of this stuff from her. And then, you know, it was so interesting the way that, you know, after she was cursed by Athena, her locks were then turned into the snakes to, you know, make her the Gorgon, and you got all this stuff. And I really loved that throughout the entire book, we never really turned Medusa into a full like monster. Like her sisters, when it came to like killing men and turning them to stone, her sisters were like, let's go, and they were like super like bloodthirsty. And Medusa throughout the entire book kept like a little piece of her humanity with it, you know. She still wanted to, like, in one part of the book, like there's this little boy that comes to the island and her sisters are like, kill him, and she's like, he's like a little boy, like, no, just send him back. Like, we're not just gonna kill, he's not attacked us, like he's not done anything, we're not just gonna like murder him for the sake of murdering him. You know. And so I really loved this book. This book is so good. I have reread the ending and the epilogue of this book like 10 times. Because it was so amazing. It's one of those endings that you like finish it and you're sitting there and you're just like staring at it and you're just like, you know, like this is a threat. Go read this book. I'm threatening you. The last book that I read this month was Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. Said that weird. Anyways, this was a reread for me. I actually, I found this book originally at a bookstore in Mexico, which is crazy because they don't usually have a lot of English books in bookstores in Mexico. But it was really cool to find a book in English there. But anyways, I picked up this book while we were in Texas at my father-in-law's house because my library is like probably close to 200 books now, and I obviously like that's not 200 books, so I have it all spread out between here and then my mom's house, my mother-in-law's house, my father-in-law's house. Like, it's spread out all over the place because my dear husband won't let me travel with 200 books. Whatever. Anyways, so this was a reread for me. I reread it because this book is like a sci-fi fantasy kind of book. It's like set not like in space, but it's like a whole new solar system, a whole bunch of new planets. This book follows two main characters, Akos and Sira, that are from the same planet, but they're like warring nations on the same planet. And there's like supernatural powers ish. There's like supernatural powers that like, it's called the current, but think of it like the force from Star Wars that like gives you these powers, and everyone's is like unique and whatever. And so I was rereading this because I have an idea for, after I finish writing the Grimborn series that I'm writing right now, I have an idea for this like space pirate, sky pirate kind of thing or whatever that's gonna be like whatever. And so this book the way that the magic system is set up and the way that like the world is built is, if I go with my vision that I have, this book is probably gonna be really good inspiration for me. But anyways, I think this book 1000% without a doubt is criminally underrated. Like criminally underrated. It is so well written, so beautifully written, okay? The like descriptions that she uses for things in this book are just like awe-inspiring. I honestly think this book had the potential, and still does, to be better than, actually I think it's better than Divergent, and I think this book should have been more popular than Divergent. TBH, hot take. And the second book in the duology, The Fates Divide, okay, I'm not gonna say that I loved The Fates Divide, okay? I didn't love the ending. The rest of the book, like 98% of that book, adored. That last little ending, I didn't like the ending of Fates Divide. This book though, I love everything about this book. I love everything that happens in this book, okay? We have enemies to lovers with yearning, like real enemies to lovers with yearning, okay? Akos is like a slave, a forced indentured servant slave person in Sierra's household, and he's like assigned to her, and they fully hate her. Like he is out for revenge because Sierra's people killed his dad, and he's fully out for revenge, and he has to like serve her, okay? Real enemies to lovers with yearning. There is no spice in this book because it is YA. The main characters are like 16, but that should not stop you from reading this book. This book and this book, go read them both right now. I'm watching. Step 1 in the hair dyeing process: get your husband to brush your own hair. Okay, we got all my hair clipped up. David's clipping up his hair. Stunning, babe. And so I'm gonna read to David while he does my hair. Hopefully it'll come out this cool bleach thing, like a little Narcissa Malfoy situation going on. That's the goal. Let's see what happens. Okay. This is what my hair ended up looking like after we dyed it. It's been a couple days. We dyed it on Sunday, and it's Thursday today. So this is what it kind of came out as. It came out kind of like pink. I think so. I used to have, my hair used to be like, it was black, but then all these like bleached parts were like a purplish, pinkish, like lavender color. And I think the dye that we used like stained my hair, because everything that I put in it now, like anytime that I try to like lighten it or like do anything with it, it just comes out with that like purple or pinkish color in it still. But whatever, I think it's kind of cute still. I've always wanted bubblegum pink hair, so this kind of like helps achieve that. But anyways, I have my library books. I have to go turn these back into the library today. And I might pick up a new book. I have a book that's on hold right now, and I'm like one place away from it being ready. Like one person ahead of me has it, and then when they like turn it back in, it'll be my turn. So, and I'm currently reading a book right now. So we'll look, we'll see if we can find anything. And I might pick up a new book, I might not. We'll have to see if there's anything good. All right, but first, before we go, we gotta get dressed. I can't go in my pajamas, so let's go. Okay, what are we gonna wear now? Pajamas. Let's find something cute to wear. Okay, we're gonna start simple, solid black turtleneck to start because it's cold outside. It's supposed to snow. It's literally freezing. But we're gonna layer it. Okay. Okay, see, what do we think about this top? Like, oh wait, hold on, I didn't tie it. My hair's in the way. Okay, what do we think about this? Okay, we need to like move that. What do we? This is kind of cute, don't you think? Okay, we need pants. Black pants. I have these corduroy pants. Okay, hold on. We're gonna try the corduroy pants. Hold on. Okay, what do we think about these pants? I feel like I need to tuck this shirt in. It's long. I feel like I need to tuck this shirt in. You know, like, these are my husband's pants. Don't you love it when you and your spouse can just wear the same size clothes? Okay, what do we think about this? Is this cute? Okay, hold on. Let me go look in the mirror. Okay, this is our final outfit. I changed to some more high-waisted black pants because the corduroy pants were my husband's and they were low-waisted and I just didn't like that. We got stompers on. This is our final look. Here's it kind of more up close. There's the top, turtleneck, high-waisted pants this is where all of our pieces come from. Okay, so our shirt is from Mango. Our turtleneck is from Uniqlo. These pants are from the thrift store. These boots are from Target. And we have a little, well, I can't see because I would take the boots off, but there's a cow on my boots. My socks are from Target too. In terms of jewelry, this is the makeup we're going with today. The lip color is the Healthy Glow Lip Balm in the deep color from Chanel. Jewelry, we have our moonstone earrings. Rings, this is tanzanite from the thrift store. This is my wedding ring, it's lapis lazuli. This is amber from the thrift store, and then this is my Aggie ring from graduating college. This is just a cute zirconia band, just to be pretty. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but for necklaces, we have my rose quartz amulets, my rose quartz for protection. And we also have my moon. This is actually the moon phase from when I got married. My husband gave it to me. Sorry, I feel like I'm like bending over weirdly. Okay, anyways, this is our bag for today. Let me set that down. We have this bag today. It's from Target. I have all my little I have a bunch of keychains on here. I'm obsessed with keychains. Anyways, we have our headphones. Some more lip in the event that we need it. Our library books going in. Can't get those in there. Hold on. Library books. Our journal because you can't go anywhere without that. And then we also have our gemstones for today. We have my lucky copper penny, some selenite, some jasper, and amethyst in our pouch today. Can't get it closed. And then lastly, we'll add our coat because again, it's so cold outside. This coat is from Uniqlo? Yeah, Uniqlo. So we have our coat. Get my hair out of the way. And then this is our final look. Let's go to the library. Library right now, and the rule is that I can only check out the same number of books that I'm checking in, and I cannot check out more than 3 books in one session. So I'm checking in 2 books today, so we're gonna go try to find 2 to replace them. Let's go.